Welcome back. This is National EMS Week, and our Doctor on Call is here with a look at some of the important things you need to know about medical emergencies. Of course, Dr. Ryan Stanton, a lot of experience in this department since he's an emergency physician with UK and Good Samaritan, and we know that anytime something happens unexpected, serious emergency, there are some things that folks can do to make everything move more smoothly and also make sure that folks get the attention they need. But what's your first advice for folks on responding to a medical emergency?
Well, these folks, the EMS groups, fire, police, these guys are all underappreciated. These are the folks that will put their life on the line for you or anybody else they've never met before. They're the ones that are going to step in harm's way. And so this is a well-deserved week to show them some appreciation. So when do we need to call EMS? There's some great information. One, call them if a condition is life-threatening. EMS needs to be on the line right away. If you believe that the condition will deteriorate in the time that you could get them to the hospital, another reason to call. If there's specialty training, something that a specialist, whether a paramedic or EMT, needs to be involved. And then finally, if the distance. There's a lot of folks in the areas of Kentucky that we reach here that are in areas where they're a long distance from hospitals, and that distance could make a difference. If that is there, EMS needs to be called. 911 needs to be called right away. There's a lot of things we see for which folks can be brought into the hospital by their car or by some other form of transportation. But if it's an emergency, EMS needs to be on the line. Also, there's some things to think about when you're going to be getting somebody to the hospital while you're waiting, because there's going to be a few minutes, no matter how fast these folks are, even if you're right outside the station, there's going to be a little bit of time that you're the one that's going to be responsible for trying to help these folks out. First and foremost, don't try to move somebody. If they are going to be, especially, this is really big for car accident scenes. Their injuries, if they've survived at this point, you don't want to make it worse by moving somebody and causing an unstable injury to get worse. Second, do not give the person anything to eat or drink. If they have to come to the ER, if we have to do a procedure or the surgeons have to do a procedure, that can really complicate things if they've had any food or drink. Stop bleeding with a clean cloth. Honestly, if you've got a really rapid bleed that could be life-threatening, whatever you've got to put pressure, just hard, steady pressure, and keep it on there. Don't keep checking. Once you get the pressure on there, leave it on there, and then when you get to the emergency department, we'll take a look and we'll take care of it. It doesn't necessarily you don't have to be looking for a sterile cloth or anything. T-shirt, jeans, sock, whatever, just put it on there. And begin rescue breathing or CPR if needed. If somebody has stopped breathing, if they've had a heart attack or whatever, you can go ahead and start CPR. Now, we talked about a few weeks ago that the program has changed a lot to where now we're doing just the compressions and not necessarily the mouth-to-mouth. If you're comfortable with that, great. That could be life-saving. But the most important thing is they have to have circulation while they're waiting for the emergency crews, so CPR needs to be started. There's some great information out there from a website that the American College of Emergency Physicians has put out for this week at emergencycareforyou.org and .com. They can get you some great information that we put out on a regular basis from ASAP to help you out in terms of the general public and how to deal with emergencies. And you see that website listed there at the bottom of your screen. A lot of good tips. I mean, things, I know we keep some of this information just on our refrigerator at home, and the emergency numbers and everything right there, because as the campaign for this week is, seconds save lives, and all the things that you've mentioned in just a matter of seconds can make a big difference. So thank you for taking the time. It makes a huge difference when the clock's ticking, and so every second counts. And the faster you can get people in to see me and some of my professionals, the better outcome we can get. Well, thank you again for sharing that with us. And as always, if you have a question for our Doctor on Call, Dr. Stanton, just go to the health section of WTVQ.com and click on the Ask the Doctor and Doctor on Call tabs you'll see there. We'll be right back with a check of the forecast. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to shake the rain anytime soon. Mary Watson's up next.